What is DNA? DNA is 5 elements: carbon, phosphorus, oxygen.
Meet Joe Davis, research affiliate and resident artist at the Rich Lab at MIT. Inspired by science history, Davis is exploiting the latest genetic technology to create a unique work of art that he calls the Riddle of Life. It celebrates DNA, the genetic code found in all living things, discovered in 1953 by James Watson and Francis Crick.
What Watson and Crick discovered was a molecule that was ladder-like in structure, only the ladder was twisted in a helix. And in between the vertical parts of the ladder are the rungs of the ladder, and these are made of the 4 bases of DNA: cytosine, adenine, thymine, and guanine. And these are the variable parts of the molecule, and that into this variation is encoded all of the information about living things.
DNA contains 4 movable parts, an alphabet of 4 letters used in a code, the universal language of life itself.
And when scientists discovered this, they waxed a little bit poetic. In 1958, a famous expatriate German physicist turned biologist, Max Delbruck, his friend and colleague George Beadle was receiving the Nobel Prize that year in Stockholm, and Delbruck decided to play with the idea of DNA as language.
As a friendly challenge to his Nobel-winning colleague, Delbruck sent Beadle a puzzle made from 174 toothpicks. He used only 4 colors corresponding to the 4 bases of DNA. And just like in DNA, he used them in a code. He assigned different combinations of 3 toothpicks to letters of the alphabet. The model concealed a message in English.
It contained the message, which is an ancient message important to the history of art and philosophy as well as science. It said, "I am the riddle of life. Know me and you will know yourself."
Over 30 years later, Davis came across the Riddle of Life story while making his own attempt to encode graphics and text into DNA. While Delbruck was confined to working with toothpicks, Davis could employ modern genetic engineering. He used the same toothpick code, but worked with actual DNA to create the Riddle of Life molecule.
This one may have, "I am the riddle." This one may have, "Of life, know me." This one that says, "And you will know," and this one says, "yourself." So I had to put them together in the right way. To do that, I used these primers and a tool called polymerase chain reaction.
Polymerase chain reaction, or PCR, is one of the basic tools of genetic research. It's a high-tech copier used to duplicate useful quantities of DNA from just one correct molecule. Here's how PCR works. It starts with a single strand of DNA. An enzyme helps fill it in to create a complete double-stranded molecule. Heating up that molecule then unzips the strands. The same enzyme then helps fill in the 2 single strands. That creates 2 complete molecules. Repeating the reaction then makes 4, and then 8, and then 16.
Before too long, you have billions of copies of the original molecule. And by this means, I created workable amounts of the Riddle of Life DNA to insert into living cells.
Davis chose living cells as the canvas for his artwork. He picked a common bacteria to carry the DNA message. Davis uses a specially weakened strain of E. coli that can't survive outside the lab. Then, in a standard procedure, he uses calcium salts and water baths to get a few cells to take up the DNA message. Reproducing the message is now left to the E. coli.
So this is E. coli funland. We have Ferris wheels and tilt-a-whirls, and the room is maintained at the temperature of the human intestine. And E. coli's love it in here, and they have a generation every 20 minutes or so. So by tomorrow morning, we'll have hundreds of billions of copies of the Riddle of Life, the molecule that has the information in it corresponding to the toothpicks that Max made in 1958. Now exists in all of these bacteria that were transformed. The message in every one of them says, I am the riddle of life. Know me and you will know yourself.